We're back. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 8th day of September, 2022. I am Dan Kuntz, your host for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's a short week. It's only 4 work days because we had the Labor Day Monday, and yet it still feels like a Thursday to me. And we got a busy show for today. Lots going on, as you can see. Smoke and haze still hanging around, although it's not really that bad. Air quality here in the Wenatchee Valley and most of north central Washington. To the north of us, in the Medhow Valley, it's really bad. I'm going to show you a slide from the Washington State Department of Ecology. There's a lot of fire, not a lot of fires, but there's some fires on the border, the United States-Canadian border up there. It's burning in heavy timber, and it's causing a lot of smoke, and now the wind coming out of the north, blowing our direction, has taken all that smoke and put it right into the Medhow Valley. It's very bad air in the Medhow Valley and in the Okanagan Valley, too. I'm going to let you show you a little bit of that. We're on the backside of that cold front that came in yesterday. It was a little breezy, but not quite as windy as they were anticipating, at least here in the Wenatchee Valley. But it has ushered in some cool temperatures and some cooler air. We're at 59 degrees. Relative humidity way down there. I mean, way down. Very, very dry air. But we're done with the red flag warning. We'd like that. Pretty calm today. About 10 degrees cooler than we got yesterday for our afternoon high. It's going to be a little breezy on Friday, but a good-looking weekend. Details are coming up. We got news to get to as well. Sports. Mariners got a 4-0 lead. Looking pretty good, but they play 9 innings, and you have to let the other team hit, and the other team, the White Sox, hit and hit again, and they beat the Mariners yesterday afternoon. Highlights, plus we'll preview prep sports for today as well. A lot going on there. And in the back half of the program, beginning this morning, it is the 70th Chelan County Fair, number 70, out there at the fairgrounds in Cashmere. An affair to remember is the theme this year. Pretty cute. Karen Welch, of course, is the manager of the fairgrounds and the Expo Center, and we went up and visited with Karen a couple of days ago to get you ready for the Chelan County Fair. Starts today, goes through the weekend, and of course, it's Thursday. Pause for pets. Nala the cat needs a home, and we'll see if we can get her a home from our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. 2 minutes after the hour, here we go. Around the valley in north central Washington with our PTZ cameras, courtesy of the Sky-Fi Division. As you can see, up above the smoke and the haze, you got blue skies, but it's really not as bad as it has been. We can see a pretty good swath of the Wenatchee Valley from our jump-off ridge camera. There have been times in the last couple of weeks where we haven't, and this is becoming like almost every year. We get a fire, and then we get an inversion layer, and then we get that. It's becoming a regular occurrence. I don't recall it being particularly that way when I was younger, but then again, that was a long time ago. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley, where we have 59 degrees and only 39% relative humidity. This is the time of the year, this is the time of the day, where the relative humidity is at its highest, normally in the upper 50s to lower 60s. It's only 39% relative humidity. That's very dry, and it will get drier as the day progresses. Camera 2. Ooh. Looking straight down, is that the Hay Canyon camera? Yes, Apple Andes, I believe. We're looking down at the retention ponds by the old treetop facility. I can see Martin's Marketplace there. Good morning, Cat. Here's Rusty's. Hi, Cashmere. How you doing? There's the Wenatchee River. We haven't used that camera in a long time. Looks like it's moving just a little bit in the wind. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, the wind is out of the northwest at 12 miles an hour. Camera 3. Smoky hazy shot from our Waterville camera. Little slice of Entiat in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Entiat, the gateway to recreation. That's their new motto for Entiat. The old motto, of course, was stop here and go to the bathroom on your way to Lake Chelan. The gateway to recreation is much better. Way off in the distance is the Wenatchee Valley. And camera 4. Hey, Monument Hill. That's Steve and Lynette Hare's summer cabin. It's a fixer-upper. I wonder how Steve's doing. Hi, Steve. You watching the show? Steve and Lynette have that place. They've been working on it for a couple of years. Monument Hill, just to the north of Quincy. By the way, sunrise this morning, 6:29. Sunset tonight, 7:27. So we're now below that 13-hour mark. 12 hours and 58 minutes of daylight. And here's something to think about. This will make you go, wow, really? We're going to lose about 50 minutes of daylight between today and the first full day of autumn, September 22nd. So just in the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to drop 50 minutes of daylight, and most of that's in the evening hours. The sunrise will gradually get a little bit later each morning, but it's the sunsets that will come much earlier. So yeah, we're into that shoulder season where we really start seeing a dramatic change in the length of the daylight, and that starts really today. Okay, breezy winds. Here we go again. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, especially on Friday here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're not going to see a lot of wind today, nor tonight, but Friday, the gradients are going to tighten up a little bit. So we're going to see a little bit of wind Friday and Friday night here in the Wenatchee Valley, a little bit on Saturday, but not much. Most of the winds will be out in the Columbia Basin. And as I mentioned before, the relative humidity is going to be low, and I mean very, very low. We're used to having dry air, but this is really dry air, ridiculously dry air. Ephrata right now, relative humidity at Ephrata at the airport, 19%. That is bone dry. They could see relative humidity is getting into the single digits. Now, I know it's a desert, but come on. That's a little crazy. Air quality to the north of us is not good. This is the map from the Washington State Department of Ecology. Winthrop, that's that purple dot there. Your air quality right now, and again, this is from the fires to the north of Winthrop near the Canadian border. The wind is blowing now from the north to the south. It's blowing that smoke from those forest fires right into the Medhow Valley. And that's why Winthrop, you're at 248 on the scale. That is very unhealthy. Brewster just is at 188. That's unhealthy. Twist, 151, unhealthy air there. Omak's at 143. That's the orange dot. That is unhealthy for sensitive groups. As you can see down to the Wenatchee Valley, we're all green dotted away. That's pretty good, but that's really, really bad air in the Medhow Valley and not particularly pleasant as well to breathe in the Omak-Okanagan area either. Hopefully that'll improve. In the meantime, for the National Weather Service, hazy this morning. We'll see some sun this afternoon. A high of about 80 degrees, about 10 degrees cooler than we normally see, and that's actually normal. That's our normal high, 80 degrees. But we got that cool air that came in from that cold front yesterday, cold and dry air. 53 for the overnight low tonight. The haze will be forming again. Sunshine on Friday, but a little windy, especially Friday afternoon. Well, just a couple of degrees warmer at 81, 55 for the overnight low Friday night. Into the weekend we go. A little bit warmer Saturday. Again, a little wind on Saturday. Not a lot, but enough to mention, 84. The high on Saturday. Right back into the 90s we go. By the time we get to Sunday, then we dip below 90 on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as we get closer and closer to autumn. That 92-degree mark on Sunday might be the last time we're going to see 90 degrees for quite some time. It's 8 minutes after the hour. 1 minute break, and then your news, and there is a lot of it. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Some thought it would never happen. The Supreme Court taking away a woman's right to choose. A right to privacy that existed for almost 50 years. It's extreme and dangerous. Now some DC politicians want to ban all abortions with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. As a doctor and mother, I am outraged. As your congresswoman, I won't stand for it. I'm Kim Schreier, and I approve this message because this fight is now.
This could be the view out of your office window.
North Central Washington is probably one of the most beautiful places to live, and you get to experience it all as a transit operator.
Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team.
We have a lot of fun with each other. I mean, it's a good group of people. We're all kind of like a family.
If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
It is 59 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. Yeah, it's hazy and smoky again. I guess that's just the way it is now again. We'll get up to about 80 degrees with some smoke and some haze, with some clear skies a little bit later on. It's 9 minutes after the hour. We begin with this. The woman who died in a house fire Tuesday morning in East Wenatchee has now been identified as 75-year-old Linda Curti. Fire officials at first said the fire occurred at the Stone Ridge condos in the 1400 block of Eastmont Avenue, but now officials say it was a home that Curti was living in. How Curti died and the cause of the fire remains under investigation. A dispute has come to a head over land annexation from Chelan County into the city of Wenatchee. Mayor Frank Coots told Chelan County Commissioners on Tuesday that the city will no longer accept petitions for annexation. Instead, landowners who want to be annexed into the city will be referred to the county to begin that process. The county has recently appealed annexations to the new Chelan County Boundary Review Board, and that board last month held up an annexation of 5 acres into the city from the urban growth area in the Sunny Slope area.
We still have an agreement that says we're supposed to be neutral. And so I asked the question, was the county neutral? Or was the county against it? Feels like the county was against it. I was in there, listened to the testimony. So when we look at these, we're still holding up the agreement that we have with the county that says both the city and the county will remain neutral in annexation. And so when they say, will you comment? I just said, no, the record is the record. We can't play that. We sort of felt like the county wasn't neutral last time, that they were actually against it, because your prosecutor wrote a brief that said she was against it. So at the end of the day, we're done. So there's 2 single lot ones that we adopted that are coming before the Boundary Review Board. I have no idea whether the county will be in favor of them or not. We didn't add properties to it, right? So we'll see what they do. Anybody else that shows up to us, I'm going to send them to you guys. And at the end of the day, this is my personal opinion. I don't think the city wins. I don't think the county wins, but I think the property owners, they don't win.
Well, we knew the BRB would be an area that there would be some challenges.
Yeah.
But Frank, please be mindful that the BRB is just up and running.
Why not?
And, that those 2 particular applications there, they had kind of baggage to them to begin with. And I think as the whole thing progresses with the BRB, it'll become much more efficient, much more effective, and actually serve as what we need as an independent arbiter.
Yeah.
And I do think it'll work, Frank.
Yeah. And
I don't
Bob,
have
yeah.
the years of experience you do.
Yeah. But my view of the world is if it's inside the boundary review or inside the UGA, that decision's already been made. And we're just adding another 3 or 4 months. And maybe the answer is no, right? And if it's inside the urban growth area, my view of the world is the city and the county already decided that's going to be the city. And so the only issue is who controls the when and who controls the how, right? Because we've already decided.
The new Chelan County PUD headquarters going up in Old Station is, of course, a big step for the public utility, and it also means big changes for traffic around the complex. As road construction begins, streets will start closing in mid-October, and that starts with the first northbound Easy Street exit off of Highway 285. Now, during that 2-week closure, Easy Street south of Penny Road will be converted into a 2-way street. Other changes in the works include traffic signal updates, intersection revisions, and an extension of Technology Center Way all the way to Easy Street. The PUD, the Department of Transportation, and other agencies promise motorists will have plenty of notice before the closures go into effect. A rare plant known to grow only in a small portion of Chelan County now has state protection. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources is now the full owner of 2,200 acres near Malaga. That is where Whited's milk vetch grows. It's a flowering shrub. It can only be found within a 10 square mile region that includes part of the Dry Gulch Natural Area. The DNR's governing board finalized the acquisition on Tuesday. In return, a private landowner received a roughly equal amount of acreage in a formal land swap. The Wenatchee Aniat Beaver Project, they've been real busy lately. They netted 2 new critters for relocation into the wild. 1 adult and 1 kit beaver are awaiting transplant to the upper Wenatchee River watershed. They were safely trapped in a riverside orchard where they posed a threat to the fruit trees. Handlers have named them Jasper and Flint. They're going to remain in an unused salmon raceway at the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery until they can be transported to their new home, far from people. The Wenatchee Aniat Beaver Project has been doing this kind of catch and release work for the last 4 years. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office has 3 new sergeants. On Tuesday, deputies Lucas McComas, Austin Key, and Chris Eagle joined the sheriff's leadership team. With the promotions, McComas will take over as Traffic Enforcement Unit Sergeant. Key will be the Night Shift Patrol Sergeant, and Eagle will be the City of Chelan sergeant. During a ceremony outside the courthouse, Sheriff Brian Burnett pinned the stripes on the new sergeants, and their spouses pinned on their badges. Congratulations. Quincy High School agricultural educator and FFA advisor Rod Cool. This is cool for Rod, no pun intended. He's going to get an honorary American FFA degree from the national organization. The organization will present the award to Cool at the 95th National FFA Convention and Expo. It's going to be held in Indianapolis next month. The organization said the highest FFA honor recognizes those who make extraordinary long-term differences in the lives of students. Cool has been at Quincy High School for the past 6 years. He was at Chelan High School for 15 years and then at Wenatchee High School for 9 years before that. And a popular trailhead in the Medhow Valley is going to be closing for a couple of weeks. They're going to renovate it. It's going to run about $325,000. It's the Lewis Butte Riser Lake Trailhead. That's just north of Winthrop. It's going to see its parking capacity doubled, a new restroom, a new picnic table, and ADA accessibility. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife says the upgrades are needed because of recent heavy trail use in the Medhow Wildlife area. It often leads to vehicles spilling out of the parking lot and onto county roads, and that's never a good thing. The 3 other trailheads provide accessibility during that closure. And that's what's making news on this Thursday. We'll be right back at it again at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with the news to keep you informed on what's going on in the Wenatchee Valley in north central Washington, and with a preview. Here's the anchor of the news, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will bring you our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Cooler and breezy the next couple of days, and then much warmer as we head into the upcoming weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will have a preview of prep sports on tap tonight, including soccer, volleyball, and swimming. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
And we hope you watch the news at 5, 6, and 10. You can also watch the news on our homepage and on our Facebook page. And we get them up and running right around 5 o'clock. So you can watch it whenever you darn well please. And at the bottom of your screen, you can take a glance, and that's the ways you can get a hold of us. Our telephone number, our email address, our Facebook page, and our home page. When we come back, a friendly reminder in baseball, you can't run out the clock. Mariner highlights. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Army Surplus in Wenatchee is stocked with items for the whole family, from ammo to collectibles and so much more. D&L Army Surplus, your one-stop shop for military surplus, survival, camping, and tactical gear. Bring the whole family and stop on by today.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCW Life channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today. 19 minutes after the hour, the White Sox erased an early 4-0 deficit, and they knock off the Mariners yesterday afternoon at T-Mobile Park. The final was 9-6. Louis Castillo set a record. He struck out the first 7 batters he faced. The M's had an early 4-0 lead, but then came a 2-run 4th inning, a 4-run 6th inning, even 2 home runs by Eugenio Suarez. Couldn't help Seattle pull off the victory.
Hit it on the money. Straight away center field. Good blast there as that thing died late. Casale thundering around. He's going to score. Got what you call screaming line drive double. Let's see. Julio's got great speed. Let's see what kind of arm Pollock's got. And he'll score without a throw. And Mitch Haniger gets the job done. Mariners lead 2-0. It's an 0-2 here. High drive, deep left field. Gino has just crushed one. Wow. Upper tank, 2-run shot, 4-0 Mariners.
Forcing the issue.
And with that, Eloy Jimenez hits a dagger to left, and the Sox are right back in it. Really good challenge by the video room, and a 2-run bomb from Eloy Jimenez. The first hit of the game for the Sox leaves the park to left. 2-0 coming. On the ground, right side and through. Here comes Zavala. Throw to the plate is not nearly in time. 4-3 your score. Abreu does come through, and it's a 1-run ball game. Ball hit right at Suarez. He couldn't handle it. Now this to third base. That is a fair baseball, and it ties the game. It ricochets off the sidewall. Abreu stops at third. Eloy's got another extra base hit, and suddenly, seemingly out of the clear blue sky, this is a tie ball game. Really improbable early on.
Oh boy.
That ball is crushed to right field. Trammell is back. It will stay in the park, but it will give the Sox the lead at 5-4 on a sac fly from Sheets. And had this team playing good baseball. Vaughn to left, down the line, one hop ringing off the wall, and the Sox add on again. It is 6 straight runs.
Slow roller, staying fair. Moncada for the out. Run scores, 6-5 ball game. It's hit pretty well right center field. Going back. It's gone! Gino has tied it up. 6-6 ball game. Suarez, second home run today. Number 27, third RBI today, 79. Good vibes only, Gino.
2-2. Loop to shortstop, and this will be the 7th run. Seby's ready to bunt on 1-0, and it's a chopper back to the mound. Flexen only has the play to first, and he throws it to Tacoma. 2-2. Jose high in the air, left center field. Rodriguez makes the catch. Harrison tags from third, and he scores. The throw is into third. The Sox have another run. 1-2. And he got him. Liam strikes out the side.
Mariners have been one of the best defensive teams in baseball this year, but they weren't yesterday. They committed 3 errors. Manager Scott Service says, that ain't us.
You know, we did some things that were very uncharacteristic of our ball club, and certainly the White Sox took advantage of them. But obviously you can't start the game much better than Luis Castillo did today. Came out firing, 7 straight strikeouts. I don't know what the record is, but that's a bunch to start the game. And I thought he threw the ball really well. They put an inning together on him. They're in the 6th. We make an error, and we made 3 errors today, and then it led to some unearned runs, and we weren't able to get on top of it. But like I said, we play very clean baseball for the most part. You're going to have rough days. Today was one of them. We made some mistakes, and it wasn't just one. We made a couple different ones that hurt us in this ball game. And like I said earlier in the series, the White Sox are playing hard. They're trying to get back in the Central race, which they're in now.
Mariners have the day off today, and then they welcome the world champion Braves. The first of 3 games Friday at 6:40. By the way, tomorrow's game you can watch on Apple TV Plus. You can, I can't, I don't have it. In other American League West action yesterday, Kerry Carpenter and Ryan Kreidler hit back-to-back home runs at the top of the 9th. Detroit knocks out the Angels 5-4. Atlanta comes to Seattle after completing a 2-game sweep of the A's yesterday, 7-3. Robbie Grossman's 2-run double in a 4-run 7th inning, the difference for the Braves. And Houston walked off against Texas in the bottom of the 10th. Jose Altuve scoring on a wild pitch. So, to the standings we go from Les Schwab. Seattle is a half game in front of Toronto in the American League wildcard chase. The Blue Jays and Tampa Bay both won yesterday. The Rays knocking out Boston and Toronto beating Baltimore. The Orioles are now 4.5 games back in the wildcard chase. The Twins falling to 7.5 back. They were swept by my Yankees, 5-4 and 7-1. The 2022 NFL season gets underway tonight. I, for one, can hardly wait. The defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams host the Buffalo Bills. A lot of people think the Bills will be representing the American Football Conference in the Super Bowl. It kicks off in L.A. at 5:20 on NBC. Glancing at the rest of the NFC West, San Francisco opens the season at Chicago Sunday. That's 10 a.m. on Fox. The Arizona Cardinals, they get Kansas City for their opener Sunday afternoon. That's 1:25 on CBS. The Seahawks, of course, they have to wait until Monday for their opener against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. Monday Night Football, let me tell you, kicks off at 5:15 on ESPN and ABC. We will have more with Coach Pete and the team tomorrow. All right, Prep Sports. One girl soccer score to pass along. Othello puts the boot into Quincy. They beat the Jackrabbits on the pitch, 7-0. The soccer schedule for today at 4:30. You got Chelan visiting Liberty Bell, Omak hosting Brewster, and Pateras travels to Manson at 6 o'clock. Cascades at Clay Elm Roslyn, Cashmere's in Ephrata, and Quincy hosts Wahluke. Everybody into the pool. Moses Lake will host East Wenatchee in the first girls swimming and diving meet. That's this afternoon at 4 o'clock. The volleyball schedule for tonight has matches at 6:30. It's Wahluke at Quincy. Bridgeport will host Manson. Tenasket travels to Omak. Waterville, Mansfield, Seals, and Crofts will be hosting Wilbur, Creston, Emerson Lake, and Palmer. Cashmere's at Brewster. Pateras will take on Soap Lake, and at 7 you got Eastmont hosting Sela. And Prosser visits Moses Lake in volleyball, where the ball is not supposed to hit the court. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday, the 8th day of September. Normally the obscure holiday is something fun or goofy or impish, but not today. It's the serious stuff. Today is International Literacy Day, and when I did my homework, I was at first surprised, and then I thought maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. The United Nations sponsors this, specifically the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. This goes back to 1965, always on September 8th. About 775 million adults, not kids, adults. Roughly 775 million adults in the world cannot read and cannot write. They are illiterate. That's 1 in 5 cannot read or write. And that's about 20% of the world's population, by the way. And of the 20% of the world's population that cannot read or write, 66% of them are women, because there are a lot of countries that simply women are not allowed to have a formal education. I know. Anyway, it's International Literacy Day today. It's just bizarre. It's 28 minutes after the hour. This is the 122nd anniversary of the deadliest natural disaster in this country's history, when the city of Galveston, Texas was pretty much wiped off the map. They didn't name hurricanes back then, and they don't really know how strong it was because they didn't have the measurements to do it. But the Galveston hurricane smacks right smack dab into Galveston, Texas. Roughly 8,000 people died. Nobody really knows. At least 6,000. Some estimates say up to 12,000. Again, it's the deadliest natural disaster in this country's history by far. The film that you see here was taken 2 weeks after the Galveston hurricane. Galveston itself was effectively obliterated. The dead bodies were so numerous that they couldn't bury them all, so they had dead gangs. They had 50 African-American men who were recruited at gunpoint, I might add. The dead bodies were loaded onto a barge. They were taken out into the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, dumped, and then the Gulf currents washed the bodies right back onto the beach of Galveston, Texas, and it started just to get awful, so they ended up burning the bodies wherever they could find them, and it took weeks and weeks for that. Not a job you'd want to have. The city of Galveston was growing and was going great guns, and then it just was essentially wiped off the map. I don't normally recommend books, but you need to read the book Isaac's Storm. Came out about 20 years ago. It's the story of the Galveston hurricane and a lot of hubris involved in that. We're not going to have a hurricane. We're fine. They had a hurricane. They weren't fine. Speaking of disasters, cruise ships are not supposed to catch on fire. 88 years ago today, September 8th, 1934, the Morro Castle catches on fire in the wee small hours of the morning and burns off the coast of New Jersey. This was ill-fated from the beginning. The night before, the captain of the Morro Castle died of a heart attack. The chief officer took over. The weather got bad. And at the wee small hours of the morning on September 8th, a fire of unknown origin, nobody really knows what started the fire to this day, burned through the electrical cables. The ship ended up being engulfed in flames. It was plunged into darkness. The response was, well, to say the least, poor. The Coast Guard, the rescue vessels were inefficient. The lifeboats, they had 12 lifeboats with a capacity of over 400 people. 12 lifeboats, only 6 of them were launched, 85 people total on the lifeboats that they could have gotten off. With 400 people, only 85 people escaped on lifeboat, and the vast majority of them were members of the crew. They made significant changes to ship safety after this disaster off the coast of New Jersey on this date in 1934. 48 years ago today, on a Sunday afternoon, the President of the United States, Gerald Ford, 1 month to the day after Richard Nixon resigned, pardoned Richard Nixon for any crimes he may have committed. This was terribly controversial at the time, as you might add. In retrospect, most historians and myself agree that pardoning Richard Nixon was the right thing to do. After Ford left the White House, by the way, he carried in his wallet a copy of the Supreme Court decision of Burdick v. United States, in which the Supreme Court ruled that a pardon carries the implication of guilt, and if you accept the pardon, you are confessing to guilt. Gerald Ford pardons Richard Nixon 48 years ago today. And finally, 37 years ago today, September 8th, 1985, at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Pete Rose ties Ty Cobb with his 4,191st career hit. It was a base hit. He ties Ty Cobb for the all-time hit record in Major League Baseball. Kind of. We'll show you the video, then I'll explain.
What an afternoon here at Wrigley Field. Breaking it.
Ty Cobb, 4,191 career hits. Pete Rose, 4,191 career hits. Except subsequent research has proven, without any doubt, that one of Ty Cobb's career hits was accidentally counted twice. So what you just saw was Pete Rose actually breaking Ty Cobb's career hit record, only nobody knew it at the time, and for reasons nobody knows, Major League Baseball still says Ty Cobb had 4,191 career hits, even though he didn't. Anyway, birthdays. The father of country music, Jimmie Rodgers, the singing brakeman, born in the state in 1897, died of tuberculosis at the age of 35 in 1933. Named the father of country music. He was the first country star to become famous all over the country via records. People bought the records and listened to them in the jukebox, not necessarily live performing. People loved his records and bought them by the millions. Jimmie Rodgers alongside Hank Williams, the first 2 inductees into the Country Music Hall of Fame back in 1961. He is also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as an early influence. Back in 1986, the legendary Jimmie Rodgers. Peter Sellers. Most people, I think, today, if you remember him at all, consider him, Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther movies. He was nominated 3 times for Academy Award, twice for Best Actor. He was fantastic in Dr. Strangelove. He played, 5 different roles in that movie. And the great movie Being There. one of my favorite movies. He was fantastic in that. Peter Sellers died in 1980 at the age of 54. Patsy Cline, speaking of country music legends, she only lived to be 30, but man, the music lives on. Patsy Cline's Greatest Hits still remains one of the biggest selling country albums ever. Patsy Cline, born in the state in 1932, died in a plane crash, of course. And happy birthday to Alicia Beth Moore. Alicia, happy birthday, Alicia Moore. You may know her as Pink. Let's get this party started. She's 43 years old today. Still in the hopper, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. Plus, we're heading up to Cashmere for the 70th Chelan County Fair. Karen Welch, the fairgrounds manager, will join me. It's fair time in Cashmere. But first things first, Nala the cat needs a home. It's Pause for Pets with the Humane Society.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley and I'm with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and with me this week is Nala. Nala came into our shelter as an owner surrender, I believe with another cat, and the reason she was surrendered is that she doesn't get along with other animals, and so the person brought her in to find her a new home. Like I just said, she doesn't do well with other animals. She prefers to be your one and only, and I mean, look at her. Who would want another cat? Because how beautiful she is. She's really a pretty sweet social girl. She does do well with consistency. So if you have a lot of people coming and going into your home, she might not be the best cat for you because she'll probably be hiding a lot. But if you're okay with that and are able to give her a safe space to retreat to while you have people over, that would probably be the best for her, just so that way she feels the most comfortable. She has been doing well with children that have come to visit, as long as they are slower going and quiet and respectful, that when she is done wanting attention, she's done. Small kids might be a little bit too much for her because of how rambunctious they are, but older children should be fine. If you're interested in meeting with Nala, you can come on down to our shelter. We are open every day except Wednesday. We are open 11 to 6, and we are closed 1:30 to 2:30 for quiet time.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, I'm late for a meeting. I'm thinking of starting my own practice.
Do it. Too much capital.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We should knock that wall down and expand.
Do it. There's always another wall beyond the wall.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
As the sun sets on another hot summer, let the experts at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa winterize and close your pool. Closing your swimming pool is the most important service to get right. Letting the professionals from Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa close your pool will ensure that you won't cost yourself thousands of dollars in damage next year. Want to save a little money? Consider dropping the water level yourself and save. Don't wait. Blue Lagoon's pool closing schedule is filling up quickly. Call today.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They set, in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, a cool scene in the movie La La Land, you know, that flick that was almost Best Picture a while ago. The two main characters, Mia and Seb, were dancing and singing while they're commenting on what a waste of a nice evening it was, as they weren't, at that point, romantically involved. Now, Rosie and I both looked at each other and we kind of grinned during that scene, because many years ago, we were on a church trip to Israel. I was going out for a walk and I ran into Rosie in the lobby of the hotel and I asked her, hey, she wanted to come on a walk with me. Well, we ended up sitting on a dock looking at a full moon over the Mediterranean Sea, and we joked about how romantic it was and how it was just too bad that we weren't two different people romantically involved. Well, over 40 years later, I guess we were the right people after all. Yeah, I know, this is schmaltzy, but that's too bad. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Come on out to the Chelan County Fair. Come on out and meet Karen Welch. That does not rhyme. That does not work.
That does not work.
Yeah, you need to change your last name and add a syllable, and then we're in business. It is back for the 70th year on a fair to remember. That's so cute. Karen Welch, the Chelan County Fairgrounds manager and manager of the Chelan County Expo Center. Back again. Hello, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for being out here.
Happy Thursday. Happy opening day of the fair. It's a couple of days in advance while we're taping this. You'll see the folks still setting up. The carnival is setting up right across the street. Are you ready to go? You got everybody fired up and clicking?
Of course we do.
What's your management style? I mean, this is your baby, so to speak, but you work with the fair board, and you work with the commissioners and all that stuff. So you kind of
lots of other volunteers, our superintendents. It's always nice when they return year after year. They're a great help. I mean, you just can't do it without volunteers. There's no way.
In fact, the folks behind us are members of the board, the fair board. They're coming out.
And they're volunteers.
Yeah.
They're all volunteering their time, taking their vacation, whatever.
Yeah,
so.
Karen doesn't have much of a paid staff here. It's kind of you and a couple folks, and that's about it, isn't it?
Yep.
So you make do, though.
I think we do great because we have the support of a lot of volunteers, which we can't do the fair without. So.
And sponsors. Let's go ahead and get sponsors out of the way right now, Karen. I'm going to let you do that.
Well, I'm just going to, I know I have my cheat sheet here.
Go for it.
So we've got Thursday, which our opening day. We'll talk about that, which is our senior day. And there's a time to that. That's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Blossom Valley, Blossom Creek, and Dr. Joel Cummings have been our sponsors for a number of years. And we're just grateful for that because then it's free for the seniors to come in. And then Thursday night, we have a brand new concert, bringing in Ryan Stevenson, who's a Christian recording artist, and that'll be in our big stage out in the arena. And so we're going to see how that goes. Sounds like the weather's going to be great, and we just have a great venue for concerts. There isn't a bad seat in the house when it comes to our venue. And that concert, along with our Friday night and our rodeos, are all free with your paid admission to the fair. So I tell people, if you're just coming for the day, it's a $10 ticket for an adult, $8 for senior and youth, and we just can't really make it any more affordable. If they want to see it all, they can buy the first day a season pass, adults $25, and youth and seniors is $18. So
you can $25 for an adult. You can go all 4 days.
All 4 days, see 2 free concerts and 2 PRCA rodeos.
Who does your books? Because that can't be right.
Well, that's why we thank our sponsors, because they help us to put on a great fair for all the citizens of Chelan, County. And I just don't think you can get a better value.
So you mentioned today, Thursday, is Senior Day. What is senior? 62 and older?
It is 62 and older.
So I don't quite qualify, and you're going to have to wait another 10 years before you can get in for free.
Right. Okay, thank
so,
you.
yeah, you're
Thank
quite
you,
welcome.
yeah.
Anything for you.
Always appreciate that.
Yeah. Friday used to be Kids Day. That's what they used to call it. They used to bus in the kids from not only Kashmir, but Dryden, all over the north central Washington. There's a new name this year.
No, they've called it a made-up name called Agrication Day, and that was supposed to be because it was to teach the kids about agriculture. And when a lot more of the schools with their funding, were able to come. But we still do have free admission for the youth, and that starts from 9 a.m., but it ends at 2, kind of like the school day. So the kids get in for free, and Crunch Pack and Northwest Farm Credit Service sponsor that for our kids. And then Friday night, we have another big concert with Eddie Montgomery of Montgomery Gentry. And so we're really excited to see what he's going to bring. Unfortunately, he lost, his partner a few years ago. And so I'm sure, and hopefully he'll sing some of the songs that they sang together that he was the lead on. So we're back to, hopefully great weather for a great venue. And then as soon as he's off the stage, then we have the beer garden where Pre-Funk will be playing for people who want to stay around and dance. And have a great time, extend their evening here.
I'm glad you're having Pre-Funk because they're one of the local bands, and that's good. It adds that local flavor to it. And we cannot stress this enough. If you go to the Grant County Fair out of Moses Lake or the NCW Fair up in Waterville, and the big headliner that they bring in every year is a surcharge. You have to buy an extra ticket to go see the big musical act. That is not the case here. It's all part of your admission. If you want to go see them on Friday night, you're there.
Yep. So, like I said, $10 ticket or an $8 ticket, depending on your age. Then on our Wenatchee Ag stage, which is probably right behind us, we've got a lot of different entertainment booked. I'm just going to kind of go through some of it. We're going to have Alex Zerbe will be here, Joe Stoddard, Older and Wiser, Daybreak Canyon Bluegrass, Carly Schoening, Freeway Jones, the Gladstone Choir, and Wendy's Exotic Birds will have her own stage where she'll be performing every day. So, and in conjunction with a rodeo and 2 large concerts, we have all of that entertainment going on every day for people to have something to do at the Chelan County Fair. And then on Saturday evening is the Prca Rodeo, and Coastal and Lowe's Trust sponsor that for us. So that starts at 7 p.m. And we have a rodeo clown this year. We haven't had a rodeo clown in a lot of years, and he's coming with his own dog act. So I don't know if I'll be able to get up to the rodeo to see it. So I'll have somebody tell me, hey, was it a lot of fun, or how did it go? So that'll just add to a lot of the excitement. And then we do that again on Sunday at 1. Saturday, as always, is the auction for the livestock for the 4-H and FFA kids. So that starts, Fur and Feather starts at 9. The livestock starts at 10. So we always love to have people come out, bring their checkbook, bring their wallet, and sponsor these kids who work so hard, through the year with their 4-H and FFA projects.
A lot of people buy livestock and they don't keep it. They just turn right around and say, here's your money, and you can keep your goat or your cow or whatever it is, or your pig, whatever it is.
They do. And, it usually goes to a processor. Nobody's usually taking them home. Okay. We'll just put it like that. But, they just come and give support, and maybe they're not actually taking the animal to have it processed. That's true.
Carnival, got to have a carnival. If you're going to have a fair, you're going to have a carnival. They're setting up as we speak. The usual shenanigans apply, all the great rides and everything?
They'll run obviously all 4 days. I was going to see if I've got the times right here. So Thursday's from 2 to 11, Friday 2 to 11, Saturday 11 to 12, and Sunday 11 to 6. Wristbands can be bought at the carnival for the all-you-can-ride. Stay on them till your head spins. I don't care. Sounds like fun. But we're always grateful for Davis Carnival to come year after year. It's not an easy industry to find a great carnival that will come year after year, because they have their own challenges and have had their own challenges since COVID. So we're just grateful for Davis, and they bring great rides, and they're great people to work with. So come on down.
Some of the best hamburgers I have ever had was right here at the Chelan County Fair, in big vats of fresh corn on the cob, dipped in butter.
That's going to be your American Legion.
Yeah,
American Legion is going to do the corn on the cob, and they've actually been gone from the fair for the last 2 years. So this will be their first year back in a while. Just took a little time off with everything that's gone on in the world that's kind of crazy. So we're going to be happy to see that because everybody loves the corn on the cob.
Do you get to do? I mean, you're working really hard for not only for the 4 days of the fair, Karen, but everything before and afterwards. Do you get to enjoy the fair while it's going on? Are you too busy putting out fires and making sure things go smoothly?
Well, if things are going smoothly, then I try to get out and make a quick trip through all the buildings. I mean, I want to enjoy the fair too, but I don't get out a whole lot to really partake. I like to get through our exhibit buildings and see what our superintendents have done with their buildings and see the exhibits that people have brought out and the ribbons and awards that they've won. You know, because I like to ooh and ah over the exhibits the same as everybody else at the fair and go, hey, that's really cool. Or I never thought of that, you know, to make that out of that because we have like, you know, repurpose, recycle category where people can do that. I don't sew, so I really admire the quilt work as, you know, pieces of art. So that's fun for me. And then, you know, I breeze through the animals just to see, you know, who won what. My kids are now older, so they're not raising animals, but now I have little grandkids and they're going to bring a couple KVs, so I'll have to go and see their ribbons. And so when I go see the fair, a lot of times now, because they're just starting, I go walk around and see all their arts and crafts, and then it gives me a chance to get in the building and also thank, you know, our volunteers, our superintendents for all the hard work. Because, I mean, I did that at another fair for about 16 years, so I know that they are the backbone along with the fair board of getting the work done to put on a great event for all the citizens of Chelan County.
There are a lot of newcomers in the North Central Washington area who may not have done any of the fairs. Maybe they've done a couple here and there. I cannot stress to you the importance of how beautiful this campus is. Unlike, say, I don't want to, you know, the Grant County Fair is fantastic out in Moses Lake and the NCW Fair out in Waterville. You have lots of green grass, lots of big shade trees, and a lot of stuff in a fairly small footprint.
We do.
You don't take up a lot of square footage,
No.
but you get it. So if you're not really into walking a lot, this is kind of your kind of fair, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we are a smaller footprint, and we are a lot more grass, about 35 acres, even the parking lot. So we spend a lot of time on mowers. And yeah, that consumes a lot of time getting and keeping the grounds, you know, ready and pristine. And then you see it like this, and then I just am grateful that thousands of people trample through the grass, and then it looks like garbage when we're done. But I'm like, yes, we had a great fair. A lot of people showed up.
What do you do Sunday at 6? At like
I'm
6?
still working at
Okay,
6
Sunday at 6:30. Are you pouring yourself a stiff one at your desk or what?
No,
I mean,
no, I probably don't get out of here till after 9 on Sunday. What am I doing?
I mean, did you get that certain release of endorphins? We did it again. We pulled it off. Another year, 70th year for the fair. You did it again. What's going on through Karen's mind at 6:30 on Sunday night when it's all said and done?
I'm thinking, how fast can we pick up garbage because we have to turn this property around in 48 hours for an RV rally.
Oh, jeez.
A state Good Sam's RV rally that comes onto the property. So it's not a whole lot of downtime to think and go, oh, we did it. It's like, no, we've got to do it again, but for another event. So I don't really get a lot of downtime until we hit winter, and then I take a deep breath, and then we think about how can we do it better, and you know, what can we do differently, and what's going to be new, and how did that go, or how can we change that. So you know, it's important. I feel like our fair, for a number of years, we've just continued to be on the upswing, trying to think of new and more exciting things. I mean, we will have Kids Zone back, which is we haven't had Kids Zone for a couple of years, obviously. The model railroad always continues to grow, and those are always really popular with the kids. Well, the railroads with the adults too.
Yeah, the kids at heart.
I always say it's men and young kids that are always drug out of there crying because they want to spend more time. But so yeah, I don't really have time to think about, you know, how did it go. Of course, we always want a fair to be successful because county fairs are important. It's just not even all about agriculture. You know, there's lots of different aspects to a county fair anymore. So
if you've been doing fairs for 70 years, as this one is the 70th, it's an affair to remember, by the way, you pretty much know what you're doing. I think you got her down, Karen, pretty good. Everything we've talked about is on the website. I just Googled Chelan County Fair. Everything just popped right up. And we can't stress this enough. Again, today is senior day. Tomorrow is for the kids. $25 for one adult pass, and you're in, and you can come and go as you please all 4 days. It's an unbelievable deal, and you don't have to get in two lines. You don't have to get in one line to buy your admission, and then another line to get in. You're in.
You're in.
I love it. Anything else, Karen, while I have you here, because I know you're a busy woman, I want to cut you loose?
No, I just want to say, if you've never been out to the Chelan County Fair, and this is going to be a great year to come out and experience it, because we have so much going on for all ages, and we do think the weather's going to be fantastic. So what's your excuse?
None for me. I can tell you that much. Karen, it's always good to see you. Thanks for taking, I know you're unbelievably busy, but thanks for taking time out for your day for doing
Thanks
this.
for always coming out.
You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, Lehman here with Crown Furniture and Mattress. Folks, there's no question, if you're looking for top quality furniture and mattresses, Crown Furniture and Mattress is the place for you. Whether it's Flex Steel's patented blue steel spring, Englander's 120 years of innovation, or Stanton's incredible comfort. Folks, we have it all. So stop by and see us today at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue.
Come on out to Chelan County Fair. All your friends and neighbors will be there. There'll be cows, there'll be chickens, guitar picking, there'll be plenty of food to be shared. Come on out to Chelan County Fair. Come on out, come on out to Chelan County Fair.
Mondays are happy hour all day long at Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Great deals on appetizers, martinis, specialty drinks, wine, well drinks, and draft beers. Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Come on in. They look forward to serving you.
The NCW Life Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life Channel today.
This could be the view out of your office window.
North Central Washington is probably one of the most beautiful places to live, and you get to experience it all as a transit operator.
Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team.
We have a lot of fun with each other. I mean, it's a good group of people. We're all kind of like a family.
If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
And we are back here on this smoky and hazy Thursday morning. We're up to 63 degrees. It was 59 when this show started. Relative humidity when this show started was in the 50s. It's now 34% relative humidity. And it's going to be bone dry. But the big story right now is the air quality to the north of us. There are some fires and some pretty heavily timbered real estate right along the Washington-British Columbia border. And the wind is blowing from the north to the south. And it has brought that smoke from those fires right into the Methow Valley. This is the latest air quality numbers that we have from the Washington State Department of Ecology. Right now, the really bad one is Brewster. As you can see there, that's the purple dot. They're at 233 on the scale. 233, that's very unhealthy. Winthrop, you're at 210. That's very unhealthy. Twisp is at 179. That's just plain unhealthy. Omak at 104. It's gotten better in Omak. It was 143 not long ago. That is unhealthy for sensitive groups. So if you head to the north, you will find some pretty bad air up there. Yuck. In the meantime, from the National Weather Service, of course, we're on the backside of that cold front that moved through yesterday. So it is definitely cooler, and it will be cooler. We hit 89 yesterday. It'll be 80 for the afternoon high today. Relative humidity is going to be extremely dry. So, just a heads up on that. 53 for the overnight low, 81 with a little bit of wind on Friday afternoon and Friday evening. The gradients are going to tighten up a little bit, not too much. Slight breeze on Saturday, and then we're right back into the 90s by the time we get to Sunday. And that is it for us. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.